Every programmer knows code runs from top to bottom in sequential order. This is fine for most applications, but what if you have one line of code that takes forever to run? You don't want to stall the rest of your program from executing. Promises provide the functionality to run multiple blocks of code, skipping the lines that take time and coming back to them later. In JavaScript, you can use the fetch function to return a promise. The fetch function makes an API call to a URL, and when the endpoint returns a response, you can console log the response. The code following the fetch request isn't stopped from running. To prove its functionality, I'll run a small snippet here, where you would expect the code at the top of the page to run first. A better understanding of the then function would make you realize that the function parameter to the then function is only run after the code below is executed. This doesn't have to be the case, however. If the code below takes longer to execute, then the code in the then function is run first. It is simply a matter of which process is faster to execute. Sometimes you don't want the rest of your code to run until the promise is resolved. You can store the completion of your code by using the await keyword inside of an asynchronous function. The cool feature of the asynchronous function is that it returns a promise. You can then use the then function of promises to allow other parts of your code to run at the same time. Developers call this functionality asynchronous threading. Let's say you're at the airport waiting to collect your baggage. At the same time as waiting, you want to check your emails to see what errands you need to run. To represent this in code, you might have a function to wait for baggage, which you want to run asynchronously with the process of checking emails.